But having to come to this place of understanding where you finally realize you gain more self-awareness, and then you finally realize what toll you can pay for your pursuit, the price of your purpose. Having to understand that must be a sobering reality. Was it relief to gain that level of understanding or clock that reality?
Is definitely the first taste of it is sobering. It's always sobering to realize what it will cost. Do you know what I mean? It's nice to walk past the window and be like, look at those shoes, or look at that outfit, look at that thing that I want. And then there's another thing when they tell you the price. Your body calms down. Then you now start to
Everywhere
make
go
this
first blur.
first. You go first balance. And now think of your balance.
Yeah.
I wonder, can I afford it? But now it's interesting because the way this game works is that, unlike when you're shopping, where you're told the price when you're about to buy it, here you're not told the price. You go for it. And along the way, you discover the cost, the price, the loss of family time, the disassociation from yourself, like who you are as a person, and trying to figure out what that is when you never had a doubt of that before. And so many other things, finances and how you're viewed in society. So many things come as a result of this, even your own self, what you give up to create. So I feel like it's sobering at first, but then I think there's relief. There's always relief with acceptance. And I think acceptance is a big part of growth.
What did it cost at the start?
Man, I mean, what did it cost at the beginning? Did it even feel like it cost anything? What was it?
It didn't feel like you were paying something.
It didn't feel like that because you're on the journey, We'll go hunt for studios. Luckily, eventually, and we now start recording at Red Room Studio. This is in Nigeria. And what is the cost of that? Staying up till 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m., coming home at 6, getting up, going to work, going to the office. So what? I want this thing badly. I put my life on the line for it, my family's view of me on the line for it, that kind of thing. What did it cost? It cost us being in some areas we shouldn't have been. At times we shouldn't have been sometimes, right? And some things got dangerous. So what? But it's as you get older and you start to have like certain responsibilities, a certain view of yourself and where you really want to go is much clearer now. The cost becomes even more apparent. But at the beginning, a lot of times, I would say it's fun, but the pursuit of it is giving so much that you're not really thinking about a lot of the other things. You're not thinking about the expenses, a lot of times. So just how you can get over the next challenge.
And so with, the normal passage of time and human growth and compounding and responsibilities, in a way, does that mean responsibilities, becoming a building a family, partnering with someone, or even just taking on a lot more, does it impact creation? Or not even beyond creation, does it also impact navigation, industry navigation?
For sure, man. I think that not even everything, like first deciding what you want to do and owning this is what I'm going to do and these are the steps I need to take to achieve it. Taking responsibility of your dreams affects how you're going to create and how you're going to navigate. Because it's okay, I'm making music. When I started, the music is coming from the purest place. I started with 2 other guys, and from there is how I started to learn to rap, that I could rap and explore rap. And I was in school, I was in college, there was nothing to lose. It was not the main thing I was doing, it was on the side, but when it becomes a situation where I think my life might depend on this, the things you create around to allow yourself to do what you do will change, and it impacts your creativity. Now I go to a studio session where it was free flowing and whatever I felt to come, now is like I need something to happen in this session because I paid for it. So it affects your creativity in that way. It can. And even navigation now becomes much more important. I think there's a very big power when naivety and ignorance are very powerful, and they're very important, and they're most potent at the beginning of your career, because you need that naivety to enter what you do not know was shark infested waters. You need to be a bit naive to take a leap of faith. Sometimes when you know what's waiting for you, maybe you will hesitate. So I think that it does affect creativity, can affect navigation. And sometimes that's not a bad thing, because you need to learn your limits, your possibilities, your boundaries, your motivation. I feel like the artistic process requires life to happen to you. It doesn't happen in a silo. Even if it's happening, at a point you're going to need to replenish. So I feel like all those things, life will always affect art, always affect navigation of finding your way.
But a very strong part of life in this industry is the pursuit of insulation from the world.
Like
So,
wanting to pull away.
yeah, because not isolation, that's different, but insulation from mundanity, everyday reality, from normalcy.
Yeah.
So
I like that subtle difference.
Yeah.
Isolation and insulation.
Yeah, those are very different.
Yes, they're actually.
Yeah, I insulate myself from the noise from the street.
Yeah.
But I'm not isolated from my
Yes,
community.
exactly.
I still function. I just don't want the noise.
Huh.
So with music, once the money starts coming in, what generally happens now, and then the fame happens, what generally happens, like there's a shrinkage of your normalcy. And so you as a person, things that you do to protect yourself. Maybe you want to get more security. You want to get more better housing. You're going to more exclusive housing, rather. You want to protect your energy. You want to protect what goes out. And so your circle, they have to stay solid or they shrink naturally. And then the places you go to, also, you can't walk down the street on a whim. You can't, except in very private spaces.
Yeah.
And so doesn't that alters what your humanity?
You're you're tugging at the string of something very, very deep. It's true. How can you? It's not normal to be famous. And I'm not even speaking as the most famous artist in this country. It is not normal. You have to lose something to gain that. And the thing about it is that that's not even promised in your career. So a lot of us are not equipped to handle those things. At least for me, speaking for myself, I started out because I discovered I had an ability, and I kept exploring it. Stop, start, stop, start. And ultimately it led me somewhere where there was a big connection with an even bigger audience than I ever imagined. But it doesn't prepare you for the side effects of that. And I say the side effects because that's not what I went into it for.
The byproduct.
It's a byproduct of that. And you're right, it does affect normalcy. But I like this thing you said about isolation versus insulation. We definitely tend to want to. Isolation ultimately will kill you off because you need to be connected to something to create. But insulation is needed to survive, especially in a place where we come from is very hostile to creativity, in my opinion. And a little bit of insulation protects you, but not enough to isolate you. It's key. You've taught me some new terminology to use.
So it's still a balancing act, man.
100.